you advise people in leadership or anyone who's listening or watching this podcast to work through procrastination and overthinking?
Okay, so there's really two components that I would address here. The first one is straightforward. Look, if you're saying, okay, hey, when my alarm clock goes off in the morning, I hit the snooze button 3 or 4 times, and then I finally get out of bed and I brush my teeth for 20 minutes because I don't want to start my day. I don't want to go face that hard workout. And that kind of procrastination, that kind of overthinking and having a debate in your own head and saying, well, I did work out yesterday and I'm kind of sore from that. So maybe you're rationalizing. In those situations, I just turn my brain off and I do what I'm supposed to do. I rely on discipline. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to make things happen immediately. I know that hesitation is going to bring me regret in 2 or 3 hours when I realize I wasted my morning doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. So from that component, turn off your brain and go do what you're supposed to do. That's what you need to do to overcome that procrastination. Now, when it comes to decision making, I was actually had a reputation in the SEAL teams of being very decisive, of making decisions very quickly. But quite frankly, I kind of cheated. I had a method to cheat when it came to making decisions. And the method was, instead of looking at a scenario and making a big giant decision about what to do, I would make a guess on to which direction I thought we should go. And then I would make a very small decision and make a very small step in the direction that I guessed was correct. And then I would analyze the feedback. And if it was positive feedback and it seemed like the right move, I would make another small step in that direction. And I would analyze the feedback again quickly. And I would if it was positive feedback, I would make another small step in that direction. So I would make very small decisions, but I would make them very rapidly. And I had to stay humble enough that if I make a decision or I make a guess and say, okay, I think we should go in this direction to the left over here. I'm going to go to the left. So I start moving to the left and I read the feedback and the feedback is, oh, this is not a good decision. You've got to be humble enough to say, hey, everyone, I actually made the wrong assessment. We're going to start moving to the right. You've got to be humble enough to do that. But if you make small decisions very quickly, you mitigate the risk of making a big giant decision, a big giant commitment. People will ask me, say, hey, I'm stuck in this 9-to-5 job. I don't really like it. I'd rather do this other thing that I'm really passionate about. How do I know when it's time to quit my job and take up this other passion that I have? To me, that's too big of a step because, the thing that you're passionate about, other people might not be passionate about. There might be no market for it. So you quit this good job that you have with a steady salary and you step out into the world and you realize that you've made a terrible mistake. That's not what I like to do. I would rather say, oh, okay, you've got a steady job, you've got a good income. How about you start doing a little something on that passion on the side? You maybe produce a little bit of that thing that you want to make. You make 100 of them and you see what it does. And if you get good feedback and people are buying that product that you made, great. Maybe you can make 200 next time and see how those sell. And you can continue to do that. And you make these slow steps and eventually you can look around and say, wait a second, got a great income coming from my passion. I can go ahead and step away from my 9-to-5 job that I didn't really care for. So that's an example of making small steps, and it's something I call the iterative decision-making process. And it's very beneficial to move through life, not trying to make big giant decisions, but by making small decisions rapidly, listen to the feedback, and then repeat that process.
What I like about it is that it's doable for everyone. It's practical.